Okay, so here's Arnmeyer, Artur, Takafuse Kubo with the volley on the edge of the box, 1 minute in.
Blau-weiß und je, wann endlich die alte Dame, Hertha BSC, Berliner Sportclub, du bist die Liebe meines.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Romel HD channel and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we are going to be tackling a new job on Football Manager, and that job is at Hertha Berlin. So just to give you a quick background on Hertha Berlin, it's quite a reputable club in Germany. It's a club that I've managed before on YouTube, but on FIFA, but the videos are privated now. So what's going on with them in real life? They've had about 10 managers in the last 10 years. And yeah, the highest finish was in 2016, 2017, and that was 6th place. Since 2001, the highest finish is 4th place. So my job is to essentially fix whatever's broken at this club and try to bring my DNA to this club to see if I can improve the standards. So this within itself is a hard task. As an English manager with no experience, no footballing background, can't speak a word of German, I'm going to be taking on a really tough task. So, as you already know, I like to start my saves from February. I think it's the 2nd, because I think that's when there's a Brazilian competition that starts then. And if you like set the Brazilian league to something that you can view, you can start later on into the season. So I started in 2022 in February. We were 8th place when I took over. However, when I took over, we did do quite well for the rest of the season. Quite well to the point where we finished in the Champions League spot. So in the very next season, this next season coming up that I'm about to talk about, we are going to be playing Champions League football. So me personally, my task this season would be to finish within top 4, establish myself as a coach, establish myself in terms of the relationship with the fans, and also establish the type of football or the ideas that I have going forward. Okay, so in this rebuild, we are going to tackle a really hard task of trying to fix the things that are going on off the field and on the field. Usually when a club is in a really bad turmoil, off the field stuff is a big contribution to the poor footballing performances that fans will be getting on the field. So my way of trying to tackle that is trying to get a few backroom staff members that are better quality than what's originally here. Also get a few staff members that are able to communicate with players what I'm trying to get across in terms of the footballing style. So I've taken the liberty of adding my own staff members, my own team. I brought a different kind of flavor to the German league. So my way of doing this was spreading out some of these English staff members in different sectors instead of getting a whole new coaching staff that are English, because it is still the Bundesliga, it is still German based, and I don't want to completely change the culture of the club. I just want to basically mend what's going wrong. So to start off with, my assistant manager, this wouldn't be a Romel HD rebuild without Nicky Butt as my assistant manager. So yeah, this guy's a really good coach, he's a really good assistant manager, he's got good people management, he's got good judgment on potential and decent judgment on ability. So it's better than what I had initially, pretty much for majority of the roles. So this guy, he's quite famous in Liverpool. So this guy is a really good director of footballing director, Michael Edwards. So when I first joined Hertha Berlin, he just left Liverpool, and I thought the best thing for me to do in that moment is to snap him up, whatever it cost, no matter what the wages were, because I know this guy's really good at building sides. And just judging by the amount of deadwood that I had to get rid of, the amount of deadwood I still have left in the squad, this is someone that we definitely need in this rebuild. So yeah, I'm just not going to go into too much detail about the rest. So we have Harrison Kingston, he's a performance analyst. So in the sports science department, we have an under 18 sports scientist in Henry Dyson. He's going to be helping out with the youth team. Harrison, no, we covered him, sorry. We also have Ben Warner, performance analyst. He's helping with the first team. Again, he's not the best. He is pretty much just about better than what we originally had. So this technical director, Jordan Thomas, he is really good. His judging staff ability is 19. His negotiating is 16. So that's going to be quite important when he's going out looking for new staff members to add to the club or add to the team. and also helping out with existing staff members. So there's rubbish staff members that aren't good enough to be a coach at this club. He's not going to be giving them a new contract, and he's also going to give me a reason to why, or just let me know that they don't deserve one. And I didn't just add an English core in terms of the staffing. I did add a few good European coaches or good European analysts, just good European staff members. So Eric De Bruyne, I hope I pronounced that correctly. He's a French performance analyst. He's excellent. He's one of the best that I've recruited. Egon Cordes, I hope I'm saying these things correctly. Sorry to all the German fans. This guy is a legendary German scout. He's 78 years of age. He's probably going to retire at the end of this season or maybe the next one. He is getting quite old, but he's one of the best scouts that we have in the side at the moment. Goalkeeping coaches, yeah, I've added him this season. Again, he's not the best, but it's better than what we had initially. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the players that are brought into the side. We're going to start off by talking about Jesse Lingard. We got him for free from Manchester United. Yeah, his contract expired. Then we also snapped up Sam Johnstone, another player that used to play for United, but we got him from West Brom for free. His contract was ending at the end of that season as well. We snapped him up. Matthias Ginter, I think this is probably the best free transfer that we got this season because of his profile, the level of football that he was playing at when we got him. So we also managed to snap up this winger from Atletico Bragantino. We signed him for 8.25 million. He's had a really good season. But again, we're going to go into the depth of some of these players and how they've done, whether they've done bad or good. So we also signed Luca Netz from Mönchengladbach for 11.5 million. We also got Antolin, but we loaned him back to his original club, which is Maribor. Takefusa Kubo, we brought him in on a loan. However, I made a massive mistake by adding a mandatory fee to, I think it's mandatory after 30 matches. So let's hope he's not crossed over 30 matches just yet before I evaluate whether I want to keep him or not. But the loan future fee could go up to 15 million. So Elias Hagen, another player that I signed for the midfield. He's an advanced playmaker. We got him for about 2 million. He's quite versatile, quite technical as well, and really good on the ball, if I'm honest with you. Comparing the standard of what we originally had at the club, he is a bit better on the ball, better technically, and in terms of his work ethic, his determination in training, I mean, second to none. Alberto Del Moral, another player that we got in on loan with a potential to sign up for 1.9 million at the end of his loan. Also, we got in Brenner, as you already saw from the fund now, from Cincinnati. This guy, he's a star. We're going to get into some of these players. I think I already said it, but we're going to get into that. So we're going to talk about the players that have left the club, and we're going to start with a player that I do regret moving on. At the time when I sold him, I didn't see that he would have been quite useful for the system that I was trying to play, because we didn't really start the season off with a set system. It was trial and error. I had to figure out what was going on and what would work for the side. And then in the end, I just continued to be stubborn and just went with the tactics I wanted to go with anyway. And this guy definitely would have fit those tactics. But we move on. And he's moved on to Southampton for 8.75 million. So we are going to get onto some of the bad apples now. There's a lot of bad apples in this list, such as Jordan Torre-Nariga. We sold him to Lyonnais for 3.9 million. Edouard Loen, I think that's how I pronounce it. We sold him to Villarreal for 3.8 million. Alexander Schwolo. See, with him, I kind of enjoyed using him at first, but because I signed Sam Johnstone, and according to Nicky Butt, Sam Johnstone was the better keeper, I was consistently playing him over Schwolo. Schwolo didn't quite like it, and yeah, we kind of had to come to a conclusion that we had to part ways. So we respectfully parted ways with Schwolo. So this player here, he showed me his true colours from the beginning. He just unsettled the squad entirely. Not only he was influential, he was actually the club captain as well. So yeah, we had to move him on as soon as possible if we were going to rebuild the squad and cut out some of the bad apples. And the fact of the matter is, this guy is a bang average, I wouldn't even say championship level player. Like, he has it in his head that he should be starting over some of the players that are in my side currently. and I don't even think he deserves to play for Burnley. So in the intro, I mentioned how poorly run this club has been for the last 10 years, that it also involves poor business practices. So for me, another way to try and tackle that is probably not going to have a massive direct hit on the business practices, but it does help over time. And my thing is to try and make this club self-efficient, and the best way to do that is to develop the academy. So with our most recent youth intake for this season, we had a really good amount of young talent coming through our youth system. Again, I'm going to butcher names, just forgive me. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to go with some of the first names and maybe some surnames I'm going to try to tackle. But yeah, I'm not good with this stuff. So we have Norbert. He's a goalkeeper. He's a 1.5 star goalkeeper currently, and his potential can go up to 5 stars. We have Ingo Horak. He's a fullback, which is quite good because I play with attacking fullbacks. He's a 1-star player. His potential is all the way up to 3.5 star or 4.5 star. Because there's a bit of an in-between gap there. And the rest of these guys, they are 1.5 star as well. So we have Gerald Schlumberger. He's a attacking midfielder. However, we don't play with attacking midfielders. We are going to go into the tactics. But we're going to do this first. Yeah, I can play him as a centre mid, but in an advanced role, which isn't an issue. We have Lutz Dittrich. Sorry. Inverted winger. He's 1.5 star at the moment. He can potentially go up to 5 stars. We also have a centre mid called I'm just gonna say Harbas. He is German. He's operating at 2 stars, so he's probably the best currently coming through the youth system, and he currently can potentially go up to 5 stars. And there's a lot of top talents. These were the elite talents. So as you can see, our youth intake is very excellent. We haven't got any decent talents. It's just been good, top, or elite talents. So that's one way to make this club self-efficient, is building from the youth academy. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try and instill my DNA from the first team up until like the reserves, which I'm assuming is this. I think this is like a secondary team. And then we have the under 19s. So I'm going to try and get all squads to play the same style of football. So in terms of my tactics in the save, I did try to emulate what I saw in the Bundesliga, what I came across in terms of the opposition. So when I played Mönchengladbach, they played 3 at the back. So I kind of tried to emulate that and have my own little spin to it, but it just wasn't me. My thing is to play 4-3-3, and that's what I've gone with for a majority of the season, and that's what I'm going to continue my save with. So as you can see, we have a supportive sweeper keeper, 2 fullbacks on either flanks, 2 ball playing defenders, one's a stopper, one's defensive. We have a deep line playmaker as a CDM, and then we also have 2 advanced playmakers. So what I'm trying to do is keep possession, be possession based, and keep the pressure on the opposition. I want to be the side that's forward thinking, that's being very positive in their style of play, regardless of what the results are on the field. We also have inverted wingers on both wings, and then we have an advanced forward. So in terms of our mentality, it is positive, like I've mentioned already. In terms of our in possession play, we played wide, we attack with whip, sorry. Our approach play is playing out from the defense. We are direct, or slightly direct. Our tempo is quite high. We run at the defense, and we try to be expressive creatively. In transition now, we do counter press. We also counter attack. We don't have any instruction in terms of the goalkeeper in possession, but we do prefer him to distribute to the fullbacks or the centre backs, so we can build from the back and not waste possession, because I know once you do like long kicks, you don't know what these keepers are going to do in this game. They do a madness. We did play with a high defensive line but a low line of engagement, and we did trigger press more often, leaving the rest of the instructions for the players to just decide what to do in the game, whether they want to stay on their feet or get stuck in. That's their choice. But I didn't want to add too much instructions just to like confuse how I wanted them to play. So in terms of my tactics, these tactics have worked for me, even with players that I normally wouldn't go for if I was doing a rebuild for a giant club or just a general club in the Premier League. I wouldn't go for some of these players, and some of these players managed to actually fit the system, do exactly what I want them to do, and we've been getting good results here and there. Okay guys, we're almost halfway there. We're currently over 150 subscribers. If you guys are enjoying my content, please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and drop some comments below. Also, hit the notification bell just so you're notified when I'm about to release a video. Okay, now that you've done that, let's get back to the video. Okay, so in terms of our league finish this season, this very current season that we're about to do a review for, we finished third. It's the best finish that we've had since 2001. And like I said before, this is only just the beginning. We need to take small steps, and we took one small step by going one spot up from last season. And I think we did quite well this year. There was a point in time in the middle of January where we were actually neck and neck with Dortmund. However, the quality, the difference in quality, the difference in how the club is run, I mean, eventually took its toll. And then there was a bit of a dip in terms of the points that we accumulated towards the end of the season. We won 1-0 against Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, which was a massive shock at the time. Feyenoord, we started off our Champions League group stage on a high. We won 1-0. We did quite well. After that, we drew against Shakhtar Donetsk 2-2. And then we got our first defeat of the season against Barcelona, losing out to the Catalans 3-0. In October, we resumed our good form in the Bundesliga. We were still unbeaten in the Bundesliga despite that 3-0 defeat against Barcelona. And that continued. That literally continued, I would say, up until January. In January, we suffered our first defeat, and that was against Bayer Leverkusen. We lost 4-1. We got thumped away from home. After that, we had a yo-yoing form. So, yeah, we beat Gladbach straight after that 1-0, but then we suffered a 3-1 defeat to our title rivals Borussia Dortmund. So in February we started losing again. So this is where all the losses start happening. The second half of the season was the poor half of the season. So yeah, we lost 2-0 against Wolfsburg. Heidenheim ended up knocking us out of the DFB Pokal quarterfinals. They beat us 2-1. Leipzig beat us at home. And at this point, I remember specifically, I received a message from the chairman that because of our dip in form, they are basically monitoring my job security, even though we were second place at this point. So we were second place at that point in time. Bayern Munich was on our necks, and we had a trip to Borussia Dortmund where we got smacked 5-1. Erling Haaland, Bellingham, and Pedro Goncalves really ruined our hopes of actually challenging for the title. Even our hopes of getting second place. When it came to like Bayer Leverkusen, we only beat them 1-0, and this was a relief kind of win. That own goal kind of saved my job. Because I feel like if I lost this game, I probably would have got sacked. Even though we were in top 4, even though one of the objectives is to qualify for the Champions League. But that is also why I said this chairman is also something to do with the issue at this club. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about is our European football. And I know I spoke a bit about the fixtures, but I didn't speak about it in a bit more depth. So we're going to take a look at Group G, and this is how Group G ended. We just about missed out on qualification for the knockout rounds in the Champions League, which also added to the chairman's thoughts of wanting to get rid of me. This is one of the things that probably encouraged him to message me about our current performance and in terms of our objectives. So in terms of our chairman now, this is probably one of the reasons why he got in contact with me, because he wanted me to basically be competitive in Champions League. God knows what that even means. He didn't specifically say get through the group stage or get to quarterfinals, etc. He just said be competitive. So for me, I feel like I don't know what he was very vague about that objective. We got third place, meaning that we were knocked out into Europa League. And we didn't go out looking bad either. We were only 2 points behind Shakhtar Donetsk. And the difference between that is literally just a loss. And we lost 4-0 to them. So, yeah, I feel like we were as competitive as we could have been at the time. But that also screams in denial. I think this chairman is really in denial of where this club is and what kind of turmoil it was in before I joined. Okay, so we are going to talk about the Europa League. We're going to isolate the Europa League and speak about it a bit more in depth. So we got knocked out into the Europa League, and in the first knockout round we had Fenerbahce, where we drew against them 1-1 in normal time, and we managed to beat them on penalties. And then the same thing happened in the second round. We drew Real Sociedad We drew 1-1 in normal time, and then we ended up defeating them on penalties as well. After that, we did start winning games in the Europa League. We won 4-1 in the first leg of the quarterfinals against Mönchengladbach. Brenner, he played really well. We only signed Brenner in January, and he hit the ground running and started scoring crucial goals for us. So yeah, we won 4-1 in the first leg and drew 2-2 in the second leg. So we won 6-3 in the tie. After that, we had the semi-finals against Manchester City. This match caught me by surprise. It caught me off guard as well. So Man City, they've had a poor season, so luckily we caught them at a bad time. In the first leg, we beat them 2-1. Brenner got a brace. As you can see, he got a goal in the 42nd minute and the 58th minute, and De Bruyne got a goal in the 67th. However, on the return to the Etihad, we drew 1-1. Riyad Mahrez, he scored in the 61st minute, and Brenner scored the equaliser, which helped us win the tie overall. Because if it remained 1-0 to City, we probably would have went extra time, giving them more time to probably pepper us on the field. So that means we're in the Europa League final, and who do we have? Yep, the team that has oil money. The team that has all the oil money. Okay, Newcastle. We have Newcastle in the finals. We are going to get into that, and that's going to be pretty much towards like midway, towards the end of the video. I don't know how I'm going to structure this, but we are going to be playing this on camera as well. So next season, I feel like we can do a lot better. Going into the season, we didn't have the togetherness. The team cohesion was low. The managerial support was low. Just to give you a quick glimpse of what it looks like now, and the club atmosphere was low. So the team cohesion was just like around here. The managerial support was all the way over here. I don't know what it was. Some of the players just didn't like me. They didn't like the tactics I was playing. They didn't like the players I was picking over them. And yeah, some of them believed that they were better than the club, greater than the club. But players like Luka Bacchio, let's be honest, he's not good enough to play for Burnley, if I'm honest with you. If I did a rebuild with Burnley, I would not sign this guy. His attitude stinks, his work ethic and training stinks, and he doesn't even give me the output that you would expect for a player that moans as much as he has. So going into the next season, like I said, I believe we are going to be in a way better place. I've cut out some of the bad eggs. There's a lot of dead wood that remains at this club. I am going to be working on it going into the summer. But yeah, I mean, this rebuild was never going to be a perfect rebuild from the first episode. Maybe by the time we get to the second or the third, most likely the third episode, things are probably going to be a bit brighter, a bit more positive, and you're probably going to see a massive change when it comes to the dynamics. Okay, so in my save, it's been about 10 years since Hertha Berlin have won a trophy, and that was in 2013 in the second division of the German league. So this is our opportunity to end that cycle in the Europa League final up against Newcastle, and this is the starting 11 that I'm going to go with. So in goal, we have Sam Johnston. At the back, we have Seyfouk. We have Ginter, Alderete, and Nets at the back. We have Arne Meyer, that's how you pronounce it. He's the CDM. In the midfield, we have Kubo and Hagen. And then we have Artur on the right. On the left, we have Jesse Lingard. Up top, we have Brenner. We do have a decent bench. I mean, the best players on our bench at the moment is Stark, Nicholas Stark, the vice captain, Toussaint, who isn't quite fit, but he can play about 60 minutes. Piatek, he's on the bench as well. Mittelstadt, he's a good backup left back for me. Dilrosun, he just came back from a knock. The rest of these guys, I'm not too sure about. Del Moral, he's got poor sharpness after coming back from his injury. So I am quite confident that we can cause a shock. I do believe we are going into this as underdogs. I don't see how anyone could consider us favourites or competitors to Newcastle's machine that they've got behind them. Okay, so here's Arne Meyer, Artur, Takefusa Kubo with the volley on the edge of the box. 1 minute in, we've taken the lead. That's caught me by surprise. Oh my god. And I don't like this angle. I may need to change that. Artur with the cross, Kubo with the volley. Keylor Navas can't stop. They have Keylor Navas. What the hell? What squad do Newcastle have? But yeah, we're 1-0 up. Okay, so far things are going well. 28 minutes played. Possession isn't in our favour. However, the XG is in our favour. Our XG is 0.93 to their 0.25. So we're quite dominant in creating chances. We have a few players out on the field I'm not too certain about. Like Omar Alderete. He's on a 6.3 at the moment. So yeah, we're going into half time. The analysts, they believe our XG output is good. Let's take a look at the not match story. Nope, I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry guys. Analytical data. So best performers is Shefuk, and then the struggling performer is Alderete. Like I said, I'm gonna make that change at half time. I'm gonna bring on Stark, our vice captain, not our club captain, and then we are gonna go from there. Need to click OK. Let's make that change as well, and then we're gonna do the halftime team talk off camera. So let's make this change just to defend this lead a bit better, because if this guy's not having a good day, then the whole back line's pretty much screwed. Okay, so far we're playing positive football. 56 minutes on the clock. Newcastle have the ball. We played up the field. Has Lucas Vasquez on the right hand side. Luca Nets not doing a good job preventing that cross coming in, and Willock with the header, it goes wide on the post. I'm gonna look to bring on Piatek. Piatek is gonna come on, and Tutsart is gonna come on as well. Okay, so 2 changes have been made. Piatek and Tutsart are on. Those are our last changes, our last efforts to try and defend this lead or maybe increase it. Not too long left, couple of minutes until we're crowned Europa League champions. Can we get this over the line? This will be really magnificent for my confidence. Shefuk puts the ball in. Jesse Lingard does it. Jesse Lingard does it. Get in. Come on, Jesse Lingard with the goal. I know some of you guys probably doubted from the thumbnail, why have I bought Jesse Lingard to Hertha Berlin? That's exactly why I bought him to Hertha Berlin. When you get him on side, when you get him playing week in, week out, playing in the position that he likes to play in, he does play well. Jesse Lingard with a really crucial goal. It's 2-0 against the oil giants, the oil money giants, Newcastle. We've won the Europa League. That is a magnificent achievement, especially with the group of players that I had to do it with as well. Okay, so Nicholas Stark to lift this trophy, our first trophy since 2013, has come to Hertha Berlin. Wow. To think I was actually thinking about quitting as well. We finally got a trophy to celebrate about. Wow. Happy. I'm happy. I don't know how we managed to pull that off. I don't know how we managed to beat City and Newcastle. I'm really surprised. I know you may think these group of players are decent individuals, but as a team, as a collection, it really took blood, sweat and tears to get these guys to play football together. These guys, the cohesion was really bad when I first joined. To get them to the point that they're at now, finishing 3rd in the league, bringing in their first European title in their history, it's a massive achievement.
For further updates outside of the channel, please be sure to follow me on Instagram at RomelHD so you get further updates such as me premiering a video, if I'm recording a video or making new content, and also when I'm about to upload. So follow me on Instagram at RomelHD.
So when it comes to the player review, I'm going to try to be as fair as possible because I have managed the likes of Man United and Tottenham in other rebuilds. It's not going to be fair if I review these group of players from that same kind of lens, that same kind of standpoint. So I'm going to try and look at it through the Hertha Berlin lens and try to be a bit more positive despite some of the statistics we may see. So in terms of like the best player overall for me personally, was Sam Johnson this season. Goalkeeping efforts has been excellent. He gave us a lot of great performances. I felt like he was either going to be my first choice keeper or my second choice keeper. And when he first joined, he showed really good work ethic. In terms of his training, he was miles ahead of the rest of the keepers. So I gave him a shot, and since then he was our #1 keeper. So in terms of his performance this season, he gave us 23 appearances and 12 clean sheets, only conceded 27 in those games in the league. And then his overall average rating in the league is 7.40, and then his overall output, his overall performance, which means all competitions, 36 appearances, he only conceded 40 goals, 16 clean sheets as well, and 7.34 average rating. So it was a successful season. for this keeper. I would give him, I would say, an A or B plus. That's my verdict. In terms of the rest of the team, Shea Fook, he was our main fullback on the right hand side. He was really solid, played really well in the final as well, as you probably saw from his average rating. In terms of his overall stats this season, 21 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist, and an average rating of 7.27 in the Bundesliga. In terms of all competitions, he gave us 35 appearances, 2 goals, 3 assists, and a 7.31 average rating. So in terms of Shea Fook, he does need some competition next season. So we may be looking at a right back. If I'm still at Hertha Berlin, we will be looking at a right back just to add some competition and add some cover for that position. Another player that impressed for the majority of the season, I know I banged on about Brenner and being so happy about his new arrival. However, I was only happy because I knew he was going to bounce off of Piatek. And that's exactly what he did towards the end of the season. But before Brenner joined, it was all Piatek up front. And if I'm honest with you, without his goals, we wouldn't be this good at the moment. We wouldn't be finishing in a good place. We wouldn't have done well in the Europa League. We wouldn't have put up a decent fight in the Champions League without Piatek and his goals. He gave us 25 appearances with 17 goals, an average rating of 7.14 in the Bundesliga. In every competition, in all competitions, 37 appearances, 24 goals, 2 assists, and an average rating of 7.13. So he gave us 26 goal involvements and 37 appearances. Okay, so Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard. This guy. I mean, what can I say? This guy, he's been through a lot in his career. He's been, I would say, he's never been someone that was considered a first team player at United. He was kind of forced to be a first team player when we had a lack of options in certain positions. But once we started signing players in certain positions, this guy kind of fell back into obscurity until that very, very important loan move to West Ham United, where we saw a glimpse of what this guy could do. But he went back to United and signed a 1-year extension in hopes of getting first team football. So that's when I come into play. When I first joined Hertha Berlin, his contract was running out. So when it came to Jesse Lingard, he was the first guy that I thought, let me scout him to see if he has attributes that could work for this rebuild. And I feel like so far I've got the best out of him, the best I can get out of him. I'm just going to say that. In terms of his appearances, he gave me 25 appearances in the league, 3 goals and 2 assists with an average rating of 6.80. And I think, judging from a Hertha Berlin standpoint, he's played well. He's played excellent. He's helped us to secure top 4, and he's helped us secure a trophy, also scoring in the final as well. So it's been a successful season for him. Overall, he gave us 39 appearances, 7 goals and 5 assists. So that's 12 goal involvements and 39 appearances with a 6.89 average rating. I mean, I would say this is an ace. I would say it's an ace, a solid ace. So the last guy I'm going to talk about in detail is Brenner. He joined in January. He didn't really start off well in his first 2 games, but gradually he started easing his way into like adapting to the Bundesliga style of play. He played like 12 games in the league, gave us 4 goals and a 6.62 average rating. Well, like I said, Piatek, he's our main striker. Even though he didn't start in the final, it went Piatek and then Brenner in the league. So yeah, he didn't really get too many opportunities to shine. He didn't start too many games in the league, but he gave us a glimpse of what's to come in the league. So I'm quite happy with this signing so far, quite happy with his performances. Overall though, he really turned up in Europa League. As you can see, there's a bit of a jump in his numbers. It goes from 4 to 9 in all competitions, and he gave us 20 appearances altogether, 2 off the bench, 18 starts, and we got an average rating of 6.86. Again, I feel like he needs another season because I can't judge a player based on 6 months. I don't think that's enough time for me. I feel like maybe at the end of next season, I can give him an overall grade in terms of his in terms of the signing and in terms of his performance overall as a Hertha Berlin player. Okay, so yeah, it's the end of season review from the board's point of view, and yeah, we're just gonna go over the gradings. We're not gonna talk about the player individually or anything. We're just going to go with the gradings. Except Arthur, I think we can talk about his numbers a tiny bit. So Sam Johnston, he got an A plus. Arthur, he got an A minus. Matthias Ginter, he got an A plus. Luca Netz, he got a B minus. Jesse Lingard got an A plus. Brenner got a B minus. This guy barely played, but he got a B minus. Maybe, yeah, it's based on the loan fee. It's not based on his performances, but he weren't poor. He gave us a 6.80 average rating in 8 appearances. And yeah, we got him for a really low fee on loan, so he did contribute. I'm not going to take anything away from him. And Takefusa Kubo, I think we need to talk a bit about him as well, because I was quite hesitant about him, but looking at his overall performance over the course of the season, he's actually done quite well. We got a B minus for him, and Elias Hagen, we got an A for him. Automatically, he's always going to be a good sign for us. 2 million, he plays week in, week out, and he gives us solid performances altogether. Kubo, again, he's just like Hagen, but for me, I had a bit more expectation of him because I knew of him coming into the save. And on top of that, I know what kind of ability he has within him. He gave us a 6.77 average rating within 37 appearances in all competitions. And that's 5 goal involvements with 3 goals and 2 assists. So his numbers can definitely improve next season. But I feel like for the first season, for the foundation, he set one. And I think that's good. If we do end up getting him on a permanent move, on a permanent deal, I won't be too annoyed, but I feel like maybe we could save that 15 million and invest it elsewhere. So I hope we haven't triggered that mandatory fee, which is only triggered if he plays 30 games in the league. Okay, so we haven't triggered it. So he's only played 24 games. So I would say from now up until I'll say June 25th, I can decide whether I want him permanently or not. And yeah, I'm just going to do some research to see if I can find a better player. If not, I may try to go in for him, but for a lower fee. And if we can't do that, I'm just going to scrap the deal altogether. Because for Hertha Berlin, 15 million is quite a lot of money to waste. And I feel like it basically undoes everything I've done so far in terms of the business practices. We've done quite well this season to be in the positive and also have money saved over for next season. Hopefully the board adds the money from this season on top of next season's budget. And if they do that, I mean, I'll have a lot of reservations about the chairman. So Artur, we signed him from Atletico Bragantino, and yeah, we signed for 8.25 million. Like I said earlier, he got a A minus average rating. So in terms of his overall output, he gave us 43 appearances, 22 goal involvements, and we got 6.94 of an average rating out of him. So yeah, I think that's about right. A minus, not even just on the price. The price was really good what we got for him, and we managed to squeeze a lot of games out of that player. So it's a good investment. And we didn't really have much expectation on him. I did not know this player existed until I started this save, and my scouts actually mentioned him in the scout report. So yeah, I've uncovered a player within myself. I'm not gonna say I've unlocked a new player for you guys, but I discovered a new player for myself. And this is what this save is kind of about. It's about testing out players that I wouldn't normally go for when I'm Man United or if I'm Tottenham. So the player awards. This is a section where it's based on the club awards or the competition awards. So let's just get the competition awards out of the way because it's just one. So German under-19 player of the year, we have Luca Netz. So he's won that. So for the club awards, we have fan player of the season, Sam Johnson got that. Young player of the season, Luca Netz. Signing of the season, Sam Johnson. Goal of the season, Swat Sadar. Top goal scorer, Piatek. Most assists, Artur. Most player of the match awards, Piatek. Highest average rating, Sam Johnson. And then we have Luka Tutsa for the most completed passes per 90 minutes. Record breakers, most goals by a player in a match, 3 goals, Piatek. I don't know why that. There's no way that's true. There's no way that's true. If that's true, that's just shocking. That is shocking. No disrespect to Hertha Berlin supporters, but If no one's got a hat trick in your history, that's a bit weird. So most assists by a player in a season is Artur with 15 assists, which is a bit more realistic. It's less far-fetched than this one. But the most player of the match awards in a season, again, I'm not too sure about this. It might just be a database thing, but maybe from this save, it's 5, and that's Piatek. Worst discipline, 12 yellow cards from Newcastle. We're going to ignore that. That's just negative. We don't need that in our lives right now. I see it being a lot easier next season. The fact that I've set a foundation, I've got a DNA, a philosophy to work towards. I know the type of players that I probably need to bring in. I know the positions where we're lacking. I know where we need to tweak certain things here and there. Not only that, I have a lot of data, a lot of analytics to help me. And that's something that we can actually talk about right now, just before we conclude it completely. So goals per game, 1.62. Expected goals per game, 1.42. So in terms of dribbles per game, I do want to see a bit of an increase. I'm quite happy that we've got the best average rating in the league and Bundesliga, but I do want to see a bit of an increase. Pass completion, because of the style of football that I want to play, which is pretty much vertical, tiki-taka, hybrid, Jurgen press. I do expect this to be a bit better. I do expect to be one of the best in the league, which I don't think I'm too far off of. But yeah, I think two seasons in, we should be playing the style of football that I want to play a bit more efficiently. As it stands, we don't know what's going to be happening. I don't know if I'm going to still be at this club next season. My contract does expire this season, 30th of June, and maybe they may offer me a contract in the middle of pre-season or in the middle of the break just before pre-season. So in terms of what may happen at the end of the season, I'm not too sure. We may have to turn this save into like a journey kind of save where I go to like different European sides and maybe rebuild them within this save. But as it stands, I'm still a Hertha Berlin coach. I don't know if the next season is going to be at Hertha Berlin, is what I'm trying to say. So we've come to the end of the episode now. If you've enjoyed this, please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and drop some comments below. Also follow me on Instagram at RamelHD. That's RamelHD on Instagram. Also, let me know. Give me feedback of how you feel this video is structured. Let me know if I presented this well, if I presented it badly. Just give me constructive feedback. And I definitely will reply to people in the comment section. I reply to pretty much everyone. And yeah, just let me know what you think of this video so far. I hope to see you in the next episode. Whether we're going to be at Hertha Berlin or not, I'm not too sure. I hope we are. And I hope the chairman can fix up his act and get things going properly. Just so it's easier for me to actually build a squad, build an engine that could challenge Bayern Munich and Dortmund. That's the goal. That's the ultimate goal from this rebuild, is to rebuild Hertha Berlin to the point where they're challenging and they're making it hard for Bayern Munich and Dortmund. Because right now, Dortmund and Bayern Munich, they're running away with the league in German football. Mainly Bayern Munich. They are pipping pretty much all the great talents in their league, which is really, really bad for the league, if I'm honest with you. From an outside looking in. I don't support a club from the Bundesliga, but as a neutral, it isn't really fun to watch from the outside looking in. So my challenge is to try and get Hertha Berlin to start challenging, but the chairman has to allow me to do that. If the chairman doesn't give me the free reins, then what am I gonna do? What can I do? But yeah, I hope to see you in the next episode, the next installment. Goodbye for now. Take care and enjoy. Peace.
Getting better, I'm getting better. Do you know the way? Do you know the way? Do you know the way?